Welcome back. This is Fantastic Chains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times.
And shenanigans.
We are joined today by our live studio audience, actually.
Look at them go.
Yay.
Narcissism reigns. You all love me.
I can live another day. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the show. This is our sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible illnesses, including those mental and emotional.
I'm mental and she's emotional.
Indeed. Where can they find us?
Everywhere. I was recently looking at our radio stations.
Yeah.
We're like on iHeartRadio, all this. Yeah. We're out there. We're on IMDb even. Look us up.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
We're on IMDb.
Why would you remind me of that?
Because I know it makes you uncomfortable.
Oh,
Also on YouTube and Google until Google stops existing, and
Yes.
Spotify, and look us up.
yes. And then join the party on our
Yeah.
Discord. We also do our lives Friday evenings and Saturday mornings.
Mountain
time, yes. That's the important part. Where you can join us via YouTube or via our Discord, which is linked in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all the things?
That's all the things.
We did all the things. Wow, look at that. Today's going to be an interesting one because we are not feeling very good.
No.
So we're gonna just see what happens.
Well, first we have to do our
Time for the weekly recap.
check-in.
Yeah. Check in.
Check-in.
Check-in.
It's been like 3 weeks since we've done one.
Oh, God. Let's do from the holiday stream.
We'll just talk about the holiday stream and then
Yeah.
the aftermath.
There you go. We did a holiday stream.
Thanks to Yeti who forced it upon us.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Everybody was just so wonderful the entire time. We had such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Many thanks to Chris.
And Jen.
Yeah, well, I was getting there.
Jen is our MVP.
I wanted to be the sweetheart. You've ruined my life.
I'm the sweetheart.
But yes, Chris and Jen worked their tails off to create a really, really fun time.
Jen.
So we did like 8.5
Air 5.
hours of 8.5, 9 hours of streaming
Mm-hmm.
on the 23rd. And that was a really fun time. And we learned a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And
I have ideas for things,
Yeah.
and we can tweak a lot of things, and we have tangible things to show for it, like a
Yes.
game that we can play on the lives.
yes,
So
which will be really fun. I'm excited to do
yeah.
that. But now is the aftermath. Because we did our holiday stream. Then we did Christmas.
Yeah.
For like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then have been in recovery mode since then. And you got sick.
Dude, so we did 8.5 hours of streaming,
Yeah.
but then like an hour of setup and teardown on either end.
Right.
And then I got sick from the stream, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Like I said when we were talking about it, Sophie was sick.
Yeah.
And then I just let my guard down, basically, by pushing myself too hard.
Yeah.
And got her illness. And so I was starting to get sick Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve night I was sick.
Yeah.
And Christmas Day I was gone. I was just sick.
Yeah.
I could barely even do like the gift opening in the morning.
Right.
I was like, I can't. This is
Well,
hell.
and I was supposed to come over Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, and I just couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I couldn't. I did the things with the families, and
Yeah.
then I was like, I literally like from the Christmas or from the holiday stream, I could do like 2.5 hours of a thing
Of a
before
thing,
I was like fried, done. Don't talk to me anymore. Take me home now.
Yeah.
I'm tired and I want to crawl into bed and not come out ever again.
It's just like we called. We knew it would be this way.
Yeah.
We knew what we were getting into. Especially with doing that the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Yes. Whew.
But it took me up until yesterday
To feel human again.
to feel human. And even then yesterday I burned out early.
Yeah.
Like we tried to do the live and I was like, I have to quit early tonight.
Which was fine because I was like not feeling great either.
No.
Because yeah, like I get a couple hours of activity before my body is like, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't figure it out quickly, you're going to just be an asshole to everybody around you.
Yeah.
So good luck.
It's exactly what we covered in the holiday episode.
Yes.
When we were talking about how the holidays are hard and then we're sick.
Mm-hmm.
We lived the prophecy. The prophecy was true.
It is every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it was really good. We made new friends. That was really cool.
We did.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was awesome. We had such a good time, and everybody was wonderful and had really good feedback for us. And we played games, and the games were fantastic. And we all laughed until we were painfully crying.
Yeah. Our grandfather afterwards was like, I heard that. Like, yeah, we were loud.
So funny.
He
It
was like,
great.
it went well then, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah.
It was really good. We had a really good time.
If you want to, you can watch the playback of the live stream.
Yeah.
It won't be the same as being there, but it was good.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah. So we're just recovering still, and you're recovering from being sick and the holidays and all the things. And yeah, it's just between Christmas and New Year's, and we're in that weird limbo space. So we're all just like floating around like, okay, what's next?
You know what I have to do?
Huh?
I have to say happy birthday to you.
No, you don't.
Because this comes out the day after your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, it's her birthday next Friday.
Stop it.
Happy birthday.
Yes, you should.
Oh, God,
absolutely.
no.
Yes, right now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karina. Happy birthday to you.
Aw, thanks. And stop it.
This is payback for July. And it's beautiful.
See, we celebrated you on your birthday.
I know.
This is a week before my birthday.
This
which
is a day after your
weird.
birthday.
I know, it's the day
Follow
after
the
my
timeline.
birthday. In the future, where all of you people are from.
What's it like? No, I've made that joke too many times.
What's it like? A whole week in the future.
Mhm.
Yeah. But then we didn't put out an episode.
An episode.
Uh-huh.
No, we took the holidays off.
Yeah.
We did the smart thing. We took a break before the mega stream and then
Uh-huh.
after the mega stream, and
Yes.
then now we're back into it.
Yeah.
Into the new year.
Into the union.
In union.
Unir.
You there. New year.
You there. New Year boy.
Oh, this is the best live studio audience for the
our
win.
laugh track over there. They're going to tell you when it's funny.
Yeah. And us. Yeah, you'll get lost in your phone. It's fine.
It's okay. What are we talking about today?
Oh, God. What are we talking about today? Well, originally I wanted to talk about horrible, sad things.
Yeah.
But then, who was it? Ruth pointed this out yesterday during the live.
Oh, yeah.
Join the lives. You can suggest things and point things out and help us with our structuring of the episode.
Yes.
But I was asked during the stream if I was okay, and I stopped, and I was like, and I had to think about it, and then I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then somebody pointed it out. Someone was like, are you sure? There was a pause.
Oh, it was me.
And then I was like, yeah, no, I was processing. I had to check in.
Mhm.
And then Ruth was like, maybe you talk about that. Maybe we talk about how you check in and why and in the process.
Yeah.
Build a good habit.
So we're going to talk about like self-monitoring and being able to check in with yourself just as a whole, because being chronically ill is really difficult. And even on the mental emotional side, if you're not checking in with yourself, you can spiral really quickly and not even notice it.
I notice a lot of people with low EQ tend to work themselves into a tizzy.
Yes.
And then after the fact, we'll go, oh, I'm actually feeling a way about a thing. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell.
I see it all the time with like kids that I work with or have worked with.
I was going to say Rin.
Yeah.
Rin will do it. She'll come in with a mood.
Yes.
And then I have to wait the appropriate amount of time and then dissect the mood.
Yeah. Like there's I get a kid who will just be in a mood of like tear the world down.
Yeah.
Tear it down and lashing out at everybody and and that'll go on nearly all day. And then at the end of the day, we'll get together and be like, so what's going on, kid? Like, how you doing? And then it's like, and it's cry time. And I was like, aha, see?
Yeah.
There was something.
Exactly.
But sometimes it takes a while to like notice.
Mhm.
And if you're not somebody who like intrinsically questions yourself all the time, it can be hard to remember to do those check-ins or even know what the process looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Really, I discovered checking in more often as a bipolar thing.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Because after I accepted that I was bipolar, I was always like, oh, is this because of that? Like I was always trying to apply it to the template.
Context.
Right. I was like, am I right now? Am I being manic?
Yeah.
And it's that, I mean, that's how I pieced it together. But that's what got me in the habit.
Right.
Originally.
Yeah.
And then I would just apply it to everything now. I'm always.
Which is like, it's a great skill to have because then you can really like, you learn to understand yourself.
Yeah.
You learn to understand your behavior. You learn to understand your emotional states. And that is so valuable. So valuable.
Yep.
And not even like, it's not a rare skill, but it's not one that we really teach, right?
No.
Like it's one that a lot of people have to figure out for themselves as they go through life.
Yeah.
And for us, coming from a place where we used to just brute force life. And the check-ins were a detriment at that point because we were like,
too far.
I don't want to feel my things. I want to keep doing what I'm doing.
There was also a phase of defeat.
Yeah.
Where like I didn't want to check in and I just assumed that I wouldn't have the energy or I was in a bad place.
Right.
So I wouldn't check in. I would just go, no.
Right. Like what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
There was a phase where that was like I was shut down.
Yeah.
You know, and if I checked in, I probably could have done like the things. I could have been like, oh, you know what? Actually.
No, I think defeat is a really like prominent thing for people who have chronic illnesses because you are, I mean, before we were healthier, it was always like, it's me against the body.
Yeah.
It's me against my illness. It's me against what's holding me back or what I interpreted to be holding me back.
Yeah.
And if I gave ground, I let it win or I lost. Right. And that was so detrimental to not only my physical health, but my mental health.
Yeah. Because
I was overdoing it on the regular and not caring that I was overdoing it because I felt like I deserved to be in that state.
Right.
So where would you like to start? You wanted to start here.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about forced check-ins.
Yes.
Because there's like checking in and then there's people forcing you to check in.
Yeah.
And not politely.
No.
They're not gentle. It's like, we were trying to find the right words for it earlier, but what was an example that you gave me? It was like
it's the like the traditional, should you be doing that? That was a really big one for me that I was like, don't talk to me. Just, should you be using your words right now? I don't know. Because it was like, I would go to do a task and then someone would be like, should you be doing that with your back?
Right.
Should you be doing that with your whatever body part was causing trouble at the time? And I would turn around and I would go, it hurts either way. So I'm going to go do the thing.
Right.
Because it was, again, it was like, I felt like if I gave ground, I was giving ground forever.
Right. You were holding out like the last bastion of
because it was
able.
Like, if I don't do this one task, then I've given up on everything and I won't be able to do anything ever again. And that'll be it. Yeah. And then I will be a sack of potatoes on the ground for the rest of my days. An
example kind of this where it was forced on you, but it was for a good cause when we were setting up the decorations.
Oh.
And you were like, I'm in pain. And I was like, okay, we're going to take a break now. And you're like,
no.
Okay. No, you were like, fine.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can't stop moving. I was like, I know. And then you're like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, Randy can do that.
Just like,
Jen could do that. It just drove her nuts.
I still do it. It's so bad.
You're better about it though. Like you actually took that time to sit.
Yeah.
I was proud of you.
I just like, my big barrier there is if I stop moving, then the POTS kicks in.
I know.
And then I feel like I won't be able to get back up. So I still have that same like mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
Of like push.
Right, which is why I didn't make it last long.
Right.
It was just a moment.
You did a good job. Just like sit down. Still sitting down.
Because I get it. you lose momentum. Like
Yes.
that was it.
Yeah. Well, and when you feel like everything is momentum, it's really hard to want to stop or to like be able to stop.
Yeah.
So now it's less like self-destructive and more in preservation of the task itself.
Right.
Rather than in preservation of me.
Right. So like checking in works both ways. It lets you know that you have more in you, and it lets you know when you need to slow down so that you can do more later.
Right.
And keep going.
Right. Well, and I have been doing better with it. Like vacuuming is a really big example of this for me because it's a monumental task for me. It's a lot of energy. It gets really, really hot. And so I used to just push, and then crash right after. But now I can do like chunks. And if I can do chunks, then my brain isn't nagging about an unfinished task.
Exactly.
So I can be like, do this part. And then that part is done and we can go take a break. So that helps a lot as like chunking out what you're doing.
Yeah.
Prior to starting it, because it's hard to negotiate tasks.
Which is good because I mean, then you can check in between tasks.
Right, exactly.
And see if you have it in you to do one safely.
Yes.
Like another chunk.
Right.
Or if it's time to like back off.
Right.
For a little bit.
And that's the thing. Like we had to really learn that stopping didn't mean forever.
Right.
Because that's how it feels.
I mean, we still.
I know.
That's still a problem.
We're working on it. Growth happens. We're doing the things. But yeah. Which is, I think, part of why this topic is so interesting to talk about, because we're not coming at it from an angle of being like, we're experts.
It's not a skill we've
and
mastered.
We're excellent at this, and there's
No.
nobody better.
Literally, like it caught me off guard that I did it. Or, you know what I mean? And then that it was like, I got a little left in the tank. Yeah. And then, being called out, being like, oh yeah, I guess I did do that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Where it's like, I always have to like put it. People will be like, how are you feeling? And you're like, hold on, I gotta ask me.
Yeah, you gotta do a status report.
I gotta ask. I gotta get the diagnostics.
Check the red
going,
dots.
Right?
Which ones are red? Which ones are green?
They're all red. But I'm fine.
But that's normal. Those are the normal red dots.
They're perma red.
I'm worried about the ones that are burned out. Like,
we gotta change the bulbs.
Or just ignore them forever.
Burnout.
Which was a point on here.
Exactly.
That it helps prevent damaging yourself and burnout.
Yes.
Doing periodic check-ins.
Right, because that's the big like why bother?
Yeah, right.
What is
pacing.
The point of the checking in? And you're right, is pacing.
Yeah. Right?
Is like being able to manage things in chunks. And this goes back to like accommodations, right? You are ill. You're going to have to accommodate throughout your life. You're going to have to accommodate for yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to have to advocate for accommodations with other people. You're going to have to like make sure that your functionality is not like top tier priority above your like your well-being.
Yep.
Right? Because Western culture especially is very, your worth is your work.
Yeah.
Right?
You are what you produce.
Yeah. So if you're not making money and you're not working 40 hours and you're not blah, 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 it's easy to slip into the thinking of like, well, what good am I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is not fair for anybody.
No.
And not true either.
And that was the why bother, right? Like,
yeah.
When I'm looking at notes that we have. Oh, yeah. And then we wanted to get into gaining skills.
Yeah.
To self-monitor and.
So instead of waiting for other people to monitor for you.
Yeah.
And getting to a point where people will have to like look at you and be like, you look terrible. Please sit down.
It happens to me a lot.
We can gain some skills to self-monitor. And some of that looks like doing that like diagnostic run. But how do you go about doing that? When someone says, are you okay? Or are you doing okay?
Right.
What takes place? How does that like kind of string of events go for you?
There's a lot of social dynamic, actually.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Huh.
Because it depends on the person.
Oh, yeah.
The situation, and how sincere I feel like being.
Yes.
Not only to them, but to myself.
Yes.
So, like, if I'm in a shitty mood.
I'm fine. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go abuse my
been
body.
the best day
real
ever,
quick.
right? Like, no, I've gotten better at just being more honest about it.
Yeah.
But before, like, I check in was literally check. Does it ever get to being honest about it?
Right.
Because I mean, we both did this. This is something we both did, and I'm sure a lot of us do. How are you? Tired.
Tired. Yeah.
'Cause
There's
tired
like
isn't-
a default answer.
Tired isn't bad.
Yeah.
You can fix tired.
Right. I'm not lying. Tired of
Right.
life.
I'm just tired.
I'm just tired.
I got to the point where our grandfather would point out,
He'll
like,
call
"Oh,
us
you
out on
always
it.
say
He's
you're
like,
tired."
Yeah, I don't think you've ever said anything but tired. And I'm like, oops.
Maybe there's something to that.
Oops. Where you fall back on like the one thing you think people might understand.
Right.
Or like the one diagnostic that might mean something to them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really hard. Because you can't just be like, let me make you a list real fast.
Well, and that's like layer one, right? Because then you get down to like, am I going to allow myself to feel defeated in the moment?
Right.
Like, it takes a lot of self-work to get to like honesty.
Yeah.
And I still like, I don't want to be defeated by things.
Right.
And I know it's not the proper way to look at it.
Well, but I don't think that's like the proper way or the improper way. I think that there's something to be said about like really acknowledging that mode of thinking.
Yeah.
Because that's what life teaches us.
Yeah.
Right? Like we either pull ourselves up by our bootstraps or we're the problem.
Right.
Right? So when everything teaches you just push through, just push through, just push through.
So
And then you have to consciously decide not to push through. That's so foreign.
Then maybe it's more like the recovering theist problem, where I'm recovering from societal pressure.
Yeah.
Like, that's the go-to, but then I have to be like, no, it's fine to be not fine.
Right.
And I can be honest in the moment. Like,
yeah.
I if someone asks me now, I genuinely check with myself. I'm like, then I get the actual checklist going. Like, I start with like, how am I emotionally feeling?
Yes.
Because that matters more to me than physical. Well, like, am I enjoying the moment?
That for me, like, doing the emotional check, I think comes before everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's you start there.
Yeah.
Am I good? Do I need space for some reason? Did something irk me? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then I move into fatigue.
Yeah.
Because fatigue's like that gray area between emotional and physical.
Yes.
Where you can be just done.
Right.
Or not know that you're done, but you're done.
Yes.
And that's an important step. And then I go to the physical. Like, what hurts? How bad does it hurt? Can I keep going? Do I need to stop?
Right.
So that I don't hurt myself?
Yeah. Is there a new one?
Right.
That has popped up over the course of this action?
Right. And for people who don't live with this, it looks like, oh.
Right. You're like,
I found a new thing.
Yeah. Like
throw it in the pile.
You did one right before we started.
Yeah.
Where you were like, ha, I feel worse than I thought I did.
Yep. I checked in and I was like, I'm not doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then like for me, that check-in, like I said, starts with the emotional, because my emotional regulation is really, really telling of everything else.
Yeah. It's kind of like a precursor, right?
Exactly. So I'm like, that's my like check engine light.
Mm-hmm.
So I know if I am emotionally dysregulated, something else underneath is going wrong.
Yeah.
Because that could be like, I'm emotionally overwhelmed just in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm overwhelmed and overstimulated, which is a different thing, especially if you are someone with like sensory processing problems. Whoo, buddy, your emotional state is really important to keep an eye on, because you can hit super irritated really quickly if you're not paying attention. And then you're not a very pleasant person to be around. Yeah. And you're not happy, so what are we doing?
For me, there's a problem, though. If I'm on a manic high, and that's my go-to is to just check how I'm feeling, and I don't like cross-check, which I do sometimes. I'll just ignore. I'll be like, I'm having a fucking blast. This is the best. Chris, you're reading note cards, but they're so interesting right now. You have no idea. I've never read more interesting note cards in my life. Like, you're bleeding out, Chris. No, it's fine. These are great.
He's like, I like these so much.
Right. If I'm on a manic high, then it kind of supersedes everything. So I still have to check in. which is such a bummer.
Yes.
You know how bad that it's go like, everything's wonderful. I'm doing great. Holy crap, I'm not doing great. I'm going to go not feel good. But I feel great.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Well, and I can't imagine with like the mania that screams go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And then trying to pace and
Stopping.
self-monitor and
Yeah.
stop yourself. Oh, I don't
No.
envy you there. Like,
It's not easy.
I have a hard enough time like self-monitoring and stopping without that.
Thankfully, I started invertedly, right? Like I started by noticing the mania first.
Yes.
So now it's a manic check.
Right.
Like, am I manic right now?
Mania check.
Like, have I been manic? It's been like 3 days. Am I just having 3 good days or 3 really good days? So, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, if I'm on a major high, then
Right.
I will and have destroyed my body. So
He
now,
used to just like move furniture for fun,
Yeah.
religiously,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
he was on a manic high.
it always wound up
and then
cool though.
everybody was like, "Please, God, stop!" And you were like, "No, the pain it feeds my soul."
Well, because that was also the self-destructive depression that
Yes,
working
I
alongside with.
deserve a clean house and a hurt body.
Yeah, that was the motto.
Yep. Yep.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, if I left it at just that, it would not go well for me.
Right.
And that can happen to normal people too.
Yeah.
Like that, you're just if you're really in like
Well, then maybe your check engine is like a different
yeah, exactly.
one. Yeah.
It's like a different flow chart, basically.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, for me, it's like emotional state. And I know if I am getting irritated
Right.
or if I'm feeling overstimulated, then we got to check everything else. We gotta look.
Right.
Because otherwise it's like a cursory glance of like, nah, I'm fine. Unless something in the like pain department is screaming. In which case, then we're like, oh, okay, we gotta pull over. Crap. But usually the tire pops first.
So I perform the same checks on you, just like you do it to
Yeah.
me, like where you can tell that the mood is affected by something.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's weird. That's not normal for them.
Yeah.
And you can kind of guess what it is. You know, like that's not the pain zoomies. Like that's
That's a different animal.
that's something deep. Did they remember something from when they were 3?
Do I want to know?
Are we getting into this right now?
Oh no. It's flashback hour.
Yeah. But I mean, we both do it for each other,
Yes.
which is really helpful because
Well, we kind of innately do it for each other.
Yeah.
Like I can usually tell when you are done.
Mhm.
Like I can look over and be like, oh yeah, no, we need to stop now.
Yeah.
And I think you're pretty good about it the other way around
Mhm.
with like, you're done.
no, because when you're done, you're done.
You're done. Yeah. Oh yeah, when I'm done, I'm really done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go softly into the night. I go like
No.
screaming on fire into more fire.
What's that color festival called in India?
I don't know.
Where they splash colored powders on each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And imagine that, but you're on fire and you're running through
People are
a
just
dark
splashing
forest.
more,
No, you're alone, covered in color, but on fire.
but on fire.
Thank you.
What is it?
Diwali.
Diwali. Aha, that's what it is. Yeah.
I just imagine like that's you
I'm
when
on
you
fire.
hit the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a spectacle.
Yeah. Because I'm not subtle when I hit the wall. I'm like,
No.
I'm done.
No, especially when it comes to like
had it.
when it's at somebody, like, you know what I mean, when somebody has crossed the line and you're like, there is no nice in me.
There is no God, and I'm going to teach you all about it.
Yeah.
That's about how that goes. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because that's the other thing is like I have such a long fuse, just in general,
Mhm.
that a lot of the time I just ignore it.
Right.
Because I'm like, the fuse is long. It's fine.
Right, but then sometimes it sneaks up on you. Like
Yeah.
little things take more than you expect
Uh-huh.
until you're like, oh no. Oh
And
no.
I'm like, I'm going to devour the souls of my enemies.
Mhm.
Who are your enemies? The mailman. He made me mad.
The man, he knows what he did.
He knows what he did.
Shouldn't have delivered that package. Wasn't even mine.
The dog barked and now I'm angry.
That sounds like a manic response. like frustration.
The mailman.
Dude. Stupid things that used to set me off. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, I don't know, something about hitting the wall drives you into this, like, I don't know. Imagine your awareness is like the bloom of a flower.
Yeah.
But then once you've hit the wall, it almost just, it crumples up like a little moon flower. What is it called? Morning glory.
Mm-hmm.
And then just shrivels inside of itself. So instead of having all this awareness outside of yourself, what you become aware of is only yourself.
I can it's something similar to like fight or flight.
Yeah.
But it's like an internal.
Yeah.
It's not an external stimuli, it's internal stimuli.
Yes.
Basically, and then you're melting down
Well,
inside.
Because what happens is then it becomes the mood-based learning.
Yeah, exactly. You fall into the habit.
Yeah. Because once you hit that mood, all of the thoughts that go with that mood come flooding back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, and then this is the hard part about having done a lot of the work, is when that happens, you start berating yourself.
Yes.
Because you're like, I know better.
I've done the work.
I have done the work. Why are we here again?
Oh, I hate that so much.
Oh, it's frustrating.
Especially with PTSD stuff.
Yes.
Like, because you know, PTSD strikes when it strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you've worked on it, like things can still trigger you, and so that's really frustrating to me. Is like when I backstep really hard.
Yeah.
Or like when a pain goes away and comes back suddenly.
Oh.
It's that.
There is something about that is just like, it destroys all of the hope inside of you.
Yeah.
In one fell swoop.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you're like, oh, it's just your ankle, it's fine. You're still like, this is my whole life forever. And it's not gonna stop.
Yep.
And even when you think it has stopped, it's just on hiatus. It'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
But then you forget about it. And then it comes slamming back into you like a freight train.
There's an aspect we haven't really touched on
Hmm.
that I think is kind of an interesting angle.
Yeah.
Checking in also can be a deferment. Taking the bad and deferring it, not long term, but to get you to a safe place.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're mentally shot,
Yeah.
and you need time or space, check in, and then you can, if you catch it early, you don't have the meltdown.
Right. Then you can hit the snooze button just
long enough
to go somewhere and deal
right.
with
Not
it.
like
Yeah.
I'm boxing it up and putting it away, but like
Right.
I need to go
I'm gonna
somewhere.
put it in a Ziploc, and then I will deal with it when I get home.
Right.
Oh, that's a lot of what I go through is like, and I had gotten really good at it because there are not a lot of things where I box it up forever.
No,
Where I'm
not
like,
anymore.
I've just decided not to deal with it at all.
No, we've
Usually-
moved past that phase.
Yes. But the phase I have not moved past is the let me be alone in a cave and snap at everybody
Mhm.
phase, where that's the only place and time that I can process certain things.
Right.
And that makes it hard because you're like, I want to be alone with my vulnerability so that I can sort through it and like examine it fully
Yeah.
and experience what I need to experience so that I can move on.
Mm-hmm. You know what I've been doing, kind of off topic, but like interesting tangent.
Yeah.
Making safe spaces with people by setting up precautionary boundaries.
Okay. Can you
It-
give me details?
Mainly like with Rin. Like I'm open with her about everything
Yes.
going on. And sometimes we'll be joking and she'll go too far.
Yeah.
And it doesn't upset me, but I know that if I was in a bad place, it would.
Oh, yeah.
So then I point it out. I'm like, that hurt.
Yeah.
Like it you know, if it doesn't in the moment,
Yeah.
but it's still something that I know would be like crossing
A
the line.
trigger. Yeah.
But like making her a safe space in that way.
Yeah. I think, yeah. No, I think that well, and it's like we've always talked about where you're not going to be happy until you're living genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Like there are certain people who can handle your genuine life.
Yeah.
And certain people who cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you were saying earlier, it's like, how genuine do you have to be with this person or
Mhm.
this person or
Yep.
this person? But I like the idea of like creating safe spaces with certain people.
Right.
And being able to be like, this is fully where I'm at. And this is how this is working out.
Well, and I like the way we do it because it's not like sitting down and being boring about it. Like, oh, we can't talk about this. We can't.
Right.
Literally, her and I are throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, she's poking at the boundaries really hard.
Yeah.
Like, is this too far? And I'm like, no, that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But then she'll like chew with her mouth open. I'm like, I will fucking end you. So,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, you're making me absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. That's really.
That's
Yeah.
our dynamic.
No, I think that's. It's hard. But like everything else that is like worth it, it takes work.
Oh, yeah.
And the work is, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be rewarding in the end. Because you're going to find that you're able to better understand yourself as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is like a step into a better life in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because when you understand yourself, external factors don't bother you quite so much,
Mhm.
because you're taking responsibility for your part in things and then checking yourself. So like
Yeah.
that self-check, but also that like reality check
Mhm.
of like, okay, is this mood right now? Did I bite that person's head off because I would like, what's going on with me?
Right.
And then having to own up to that and be like, oh, I'm really sorry. I was in a lot of pain and I took it out on you.
Right.
My bad.
And then you're building a safe space in that way too.
Right.
By being open about it.
Exactly.
By being like, no, wasn't in good headspace.
No.
This is why.
No.
I know that doesn't excuse it,
That's exactly it.
but it happened, and that's why.
Well, that's exactly it too, is like learning not to make excuses.
Yeah.
Because before, like pre-diagnosis era, it always felt like I had to have a different excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because
For
the
each.
pain wasn't an excuse. Because
Right.
in my head, I was like, I don't even know if it's real.
No, everybody in our head had that same pain. Everyone dealt
Yeah.
with it, and we just couldn't handle
Or
it.
it was like, people are going to think I'm faking.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
this
if
is
you're
an
always
excuse,
falling
or
back
this
on
is
it.
a blah, blah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Where
Yeah.
you're like, I cannot be the like, sorry I was mean to you yesterday. I was in a lot of pain, but I'm going to do it again later today.
Right.
No, maybe don't do that. But I don't know. It's hard to navigate.
I think we should go on break.
Yeah.
And then come back and go through like examples.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And kind of dive deeper into like the work behind it.
Yeah. And then we can get more into.
No, you wrote that. I don't like that idea. It's a woman's idea. Actually, can you get me a pen?
The patriarchy is strong today. He's going to trace over what I wrote. And he's making that face because I knew exactly what he was going to do. So now he's
I'm
going to
making
do
a face
something
because
else.
you're close to what I was going to do.
He just crossed it out. Oh my God, he's writing exactly. I hate it here. No, I don't. It's fine. He literally, look at this. Look.
They don't need to see that.
Fine.
It's not for their eyes.
Fine. Check yourself before you wreck
So, if you
yourself,
wanted to see it.
sir. I'm going to end you.
She's not. She loves me.
I do love you. What are you
I
gonna
can
do
get
with
away
that?
with it. I'm going to cry about it later because I'm going to realize
That
you
I
were
love
nice
you?
to me, and then I'm going to be like, ah.
I'll just send you more like proof.
Yeah.
Proof of love
Oh, fuck. those
repeatedly.
I
Again
love
and
my
again and
siblings.
again.
Siblings are great. And I'm like, I can't. It's too
Shut up.
sincere.
Stop. Okay. It's break time, my friends.
Yep.
So hopefully you know what to do, but if you don't, Chris is going to tell you. Because I'm a woman.
I wasn't going to say it. But how about, for the sake of clarity, I explain it to her so that you can understand it. I can't. I don't have it in me to be the patriarchy today. It takes too much energy.
You need to take your meds.
Yes. You need to hydrate or dihydrate.
Take your meds.
And then hydrate.
Yeah.
Preferably together. But,
Yeah.
you know, hydrate or dihydrate.
Have a snack.
Why?
Because you are a snack.
You are.
You're a snack and you deserve a snack.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it.
Maybe find some sun.
Yeah.
Go outside.
Touch the ground. I don't know. Maybe don't if it's frozen. That would
If
be.
it's gross out, find something snuggly.
Yes.
Get a what
Cozy
was
sock.
it? Like, I don't want to
What
say
is
it
it?
wrong. The thing that
Oh my God.
Kirsten
it was
posted.
horrifying. I don't remember. Oh, I gotta look.
I need to get the name right because I don't want to accidentally say a bad word.
Bad. Yeah. This is a. Oh, Oh, no.
It's there with the picture. It should be.
No, it's not.
No.
We're going to have to look and come back.
I said it so many
know,
times you
but
think I would.
It's.
Yeah, I'll go with Fuggle. Fuggler.
No, I don't
think
know
it's a
if that's
Fuggler.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Find a Fuggler.
It sounds really bad. Join the Discord so you can understand what we're talking about, because it was.
It's great.
Jen's response was, "Thanks, I hate it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
or you could get a soft, cozy buddy.
or a fur baby.
That too.
And then,
And
I get this. You should check in with yourself.
Yes.
Get to know yourself better. Are you manic? Are you not?
Yeah. Sit down. Just like have an internal moment.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay.
And take a break if you need one. Kind of goes with that, but
Yes. We're gonna go do some of those things, and we will be back.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.
If you're looking to support the channel, our description has a support section that includes links to our Patreon and our merch site Teespring. We've recently updated it with some new designs, including a version of our full logo, which you all have been requesting. You can find those at fantastic-pains.creator-spring.com. We love all the pictures that get shared with your Fantastic Pains pride, so please keep sending them.
Welcome back. How was your break? Her mic is being weird, but
There we
we're
go.
gonna go. Cheers.
Did you do the
Sláinte.
things? Take your meds at the very least. Drink water. Take your meds. If you can, have a snack. I understand we're all a little weird about eating, but you would deserve it.
Yeah.
You snack.
Also, don't feel weird if you eat once a day. I know that might not
Yeah.
be healthy advice, but don't feel weird because
Well,
you
don't
you're
feel
not
alone because you're
That's-
not.
Right. That's what we do.
We eat once a day. I eat half a bagel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the concession. At least I'm eating.
Yes. I get tired all the time of people being like, I never see you eat. I'm
So
like,
real quick. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. We are gonna do a card against anxiety real quick.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna do this after break from now on. We have the whole deck.
Yep.
We finally have a copy.
And we're going to talk about the ones we like and the ones we don't like and maybe the reasons why.
I'm just gonna pull one randomly,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about it. I like this rainbowy one. I think.
What is it?
Count the colors.
Oh,
This is a grounding exercise, I believe.
okay.
Number 1, pick a color, i.e. red, and to focus on. How many red things can you see? Close your eyes. How many red things can you imagine? So it's a grounding.
I like that. That's cool because we were going to talk about grounding as part of how you are going to be able to check in with yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to check in with yourself when you are all wound up.
When your brain is chaos.
Yes. You also need to be somewhat present with your body in order to check in with yourself.
Mhm.
And I know that lots of us with chronic illnesses, we don't like being present with our body. We don't like doing body scans. It's
No.
not fun for us because then we notice all the things that are wrong. But
Real quick, this isn't my story to tell, but I'm telling it.
okay.
So, my friend,
Uh-huh.
you might know her.
Uh-huh.
She was going to a training, and they were making her do a self-scan.
Oh yeah.
You know the story. You know the friend,
I know the story, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't tell it as well as she does. I wish she were here. Basically, she had to do a self-scan, and she did, and it went horrible. Something about Godzilla. I don't. Do you know how it goes?
Well, okay, so it wasn't just like a self scan.
It was her.
It was one of those like tense and release exercises
Mm.
that they make you do. So
Yes.
we would do like a mindful exercise every
Yeah.
every however many days. I don't even know, once a week maybe.
Yeah.
And they were doing like a tense and release, and I tried it and immediately dislocated my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes our joints to be super lax and stretchy and also to dislocate for funsies. We need to maintain a certain level of tension in order to be functional human beings because our muscles have to do the jobs of the ligaments and tendons that are all stretched out.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the exercises you might not like. Some of them you might like. But it's okay. You don't have to like them all.
Right. It was just an interesting anecdote that she was
And
coerced.
then Godzilla showed up and he killed everyone.
That's what I thought. See, I wasn't sure about that.
That friend died. Squished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And she had a
Shame.
family of ants. She was an ant keeper. They count. That's a fur baby. Why are you being like this?
It's not a fur baby. It's
an
exoskeleton baby.
Several thousand exoskeleton babies, I'll have you know. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big ant colony. They had a whole series of tanks. With a mister.
Great.
So yeah, we're gonna get into
Yes. So first step is to ground, right? Is to like be present in your body, which sucks. I know it sucks. The idea is that you're going to kind of catalog and go through the check engine lights in your body and see what is what and what is like we need to pull over and check it, or we need to call a tow truck and be done for the day.
Yeah.
Or I'm not even getting I'm not getting to work. I can't get out of the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So what else?
Well,
What else might you do to check in or to start the check-in process?
Grounding.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about this just now, but that is part of it, is silencing everything.
Yes.
Which is easier with practice. So, like,
Yes.
it's easier for me to tune everything out and focus on the body and not bring anxiety or the mood into it.
Yeah.
Just do, like, a diagnostic.
Yeah.
But grounding in general, we've covered it before.
Right. If you are struggling to bring quiet to your mind, there is a trick that I really like that I use often now.
I think I know this trick.
And you cover one eye.
Try it right now.
And it's really hard for your body, like your brain, to chatter away when you have covered an eye.
It calms the mind.
So bizarre. I don't know any of the mechanics as to why it works, but it works. If it doesn't work, try the other eye. I don't know. Stay there for like 20 seconds.
And it's an ADHD pro tip. Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be really helpful in kind of silencing all the chatter, because if you're like me, your brain never shuts up.
So yeah, you're gonna look like a freak. This is how it's gonna be. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you want to go get pizza?" Yeah, I'm good.
They're gonna be like, "What was that?"
I had to have a moment of silence for the pizza.
I had to contact the mothership. Hold on.
Yeah.
I just moved a tendon in my thumb and it hurt really bad.
We're melting apart.
Yeah. So once you've kind of brought yourself back to the body, like we said before, do that like mental, emotional check, the fatigue check, figure out like where you are spoon wise. Because the goal is to not have to borrow spoons from the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, because you'll be in spoon debt, which leads to burnout, which is not a good place to be in. Nobody likes it. And then you're going to need so much recovery.
I was going to say, let's touch on burnout, because it gets used a lot. And I don't think burnout means the same thing to us as it does to other people.
Yeah. Does
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like being fully burned out for me is like a full body shutdown. It's mental shutdown. It's I'm in bed. I can't sleep because I did everything too hard. I can't get comfortable. And now I'm in the state of being until it passes. Yeah. And that could be hours. Yeah. That could be all night. That could be
a day, 2 to 3 days.
Burnout isn't just, oh, I'm sick of doing this task. It's not.
No.
It's not.
Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And when you've had a lot of practice being chronically ill, can't is not really like a place that we go a whole lot. We have a lot of like shouldn't, or like that's hard to do, or I have to do it this way, or I've developed these systems in order to get by. But can't is different. Can't is like the body will not let me do anything else at all. I can't get out of bed. I can't make it through a shower. I can't brush my teeth. I can't initiate a task. I can't eat food. I can barely hydrate myself. I'm just gonna like melt here in my bed. So that's kind of burnout, or like when you've borrowed spoons too far ahead.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, I did that during the stream.
Yeah.
knowingly.
Yeah.
And I prepared for it.
Right.
And now, I mean, we had to use it as like a beta test to see what we could do, how long we could
Yeah.
go. Kind of learn the limitations,
Mhm.
what formatting works, what could help, what doesn't.
Yeah.
There was a lot of learning, but it was programmed burnout. Like, we knew it was going to happen.
Yes. It was a lot. And we felt it for days afterwards.
Mhm.
And there were days where we were like, you want to get together? And I was like, I can't. This is recovery day because the body is demanding it.
The funny thing about it is I would message her, right? And I don't explain myself. So I'm just, hey, you still coming over? Not saying that the intent is for her to come over while I don't get out of bed. And so that she can spend time with the kids and do like the gift giving. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, let's go hang out and
Yeah.
shoot the shit. It was, you coming over because I'm not moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're
And
like,
I
no,
was
I'm like,
I
bet.
cannot. There
I'm
is
not
no gas.
Yeah.
No gas because I didn't use my brakes before.
Right.
So, and then we kind of go into checking over the physical body. And with Ehlers-Danlos, again, this is like, what damage have I done to myself recently?
Mm-hmm.
Are there pressing things? Are there things that I need to note as ongoing things? Are there new pains that
It's
I'm
like filling out a
discovering?
form.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
You're
It's,
like, how long has that one been going on?
right. There's the acknowledged continual pain. There's the new stuff. And then you've got to take into account that maybe you tried something different that day. Like maybe you walked a little differently and your muscles aren't used to you walking that way because you were compensating for something else. And now because you were compensating originally incorrectly, everything is out of whack.
Yes. We call it the cascade effect.
Yeah.
Where like one thing will go out, and it used to be that it would start with the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
The shoulder would go out, and then the rest of the body would compensate to kind of baby the shoulder or hold it close so that it wasn't like out flopping around all over the place.
Yep.
Like a dead fish. Dead fish don't move, sorry. A live
Dying fish.
dying fish. I'm tired. But it would throw out everything else. So the hips would be out, the back would be out, your ribs would be messed up, your neck would be out. Like all of these things would go wrong because of the one injury.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of the like systemic pain
Mhm.
that we have. And even though we know like it's stemming from one thing, once you fix the one thing, everything else is still screwed up.
And
now you have to fix it
Yeah.
to put it all back.
Individually.
And now it's going to cry because it's been out.
Yeah. It's,
So
it's a whole thing. I mean, I think we covered it. We got
it's
to
an
the
adventure.
point.
Yes.
And I just want people to be honest with themselves. Like that's the
Yeah.
hardest part, I think, is the letting yourself take that break, letting yourself not feel defeated.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's not a competition.
Right.
Your body's not out to destroy you. It may feel like it, but it's not. It's trying its best to keep you alive.
Well, and you shouldn't wait for the can't
Yes.
before you stop, because
That's too far.
if you're like me, there is no can't.
There's a level in Earthbound called Magic Can't, and that's all I can think about now.
Great. But yeah, don't wait for the like can't. Don't wait to be like laid up, unable to move before you take a break and do something about it.
Mhm.
Be proactive with how you're treating yourself. Because if you're not proactive, you're going to be reactive, and you're going to be trying to like repair things on the daily and like a never-ending list of hell. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, long and short of it, take the shame out of checking in
Yes.
and try checking in more often.
Yeah.
It's a habit. You can build it in, and the more you do it, the quicker it gets, the easier it gets.
Yes. And familiarize yourself with spoon theory. That can be a really
Yes.
useful tool in measuring your energy output and your measuring your energy
Right.
availability.
I feel like people use it more for explaining things to people, but
Yeah.
it should be used more as a way to understand your own energy output
Yes.
and accept that there are limitations.
Yeah.
And things cost more.
Right.
So,
There are things that do cost
look
more
it up.
spoons.
Spoon theory.
So, yeah, familiarize yourself with spoon theory. Take the shame out. Take the guilt out. You're not doing yourself any favors by pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
I know it feels defeating, but it's gonna feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. and it's okay to feel however you need to feel about it. But make sure that you are checking your actions and not letting your feelings run the show.
Right. And another way to look at it, especially if you have to gamify things, your DPS will go up. Your overall productivity will increase, giving yourself the break because there's no downtime. There's not as much downtime. You're being proactive, not reactive.
Right.
It's beautiful.
You're not starting the next day in a detriment.
Right. So everything kind of goes through the roof. Yeah. It's just all gains. It's all gains.
Get your gains.
Get your 100% attack bonus. I don't know. Why'd you say that? That was weird.
I'm going to do a check real quick. I am doing this, which is a good sign that I am.
It's a bad sign.
Yeah. Well, it's a bad sign, but it's a good sign that I'm done. I've had enough. My body is starting to fall apart, so we're starting to brace a little more. We're doing some self-soothing here. Mm-hmm. So
I'm doing it with my feet. I'm rocking with my feet. I'm clenching and unclenching left to right, left to right. I just noticed it, and it's what I do when I'm not doing well. Yeah, like do.
That's the other part. Check on those like idiosyncrasies, I guess.
Yeah.
To see like what is it that signifies what, because everybody knows if Karina's singing, she's in pain.
And if she's singing, I'm gonna hit her. Everyone knows that.
And make more pain.
Not true. And on that note,
it's time to go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you have comments, please leave us a comment. We read them all. We are very excited to hear from you all.
Even if it's 5 months later.
Yeah, that too. We're good with that.
Busy. I see you watching this a year late. It's fine. Comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's good to be back. Sorry, we had a long break.
We did have a long break. Yes. Okay. Well, thanks again for hanging out with us. We appreciate you all. We appreciate those of you who joined us for the holiday stream. Thank you very much. I'm so glad we all had fun.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you and Jen.
Thank you
for all the work that you put into it.
You put work into it too.
And all the work you continue to put into our podcast.
I try.
Which is fantastic.
Thanks for the milk.
Yeah, thanks for the milk. There you go. Milk.
That's going to be a TikTok. Just that.
Thanks for the milk.
Done.
Wonderful. All right, friends. You know the drill. And if you don't, here it is. Be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
He needs some milk.
If you're reading into my reactions when she says that, I'm not saying not to be nice to people. I'm just saying it's not as important as being nice to yourself. Say it. Watch my face as you say it. I'm
gonna watch it here.
I've leaned into it, but I was doing it subconsciously before.
Be kind to you. Be kind to others, and we will see you in the next one. He's like, I don't know. You could do it. You could.